What's up, everyone? It's Logan, and I want to talk to you all about the 3 things that I wish I would have done since day one of my business. That some of it I've kind of learned the hard way, and some of it I've actually set myself up pretty well. So I'll walk you through each one of those 3 things, kind of talk to you about what I did over the past 2 years and what I wish I would have done differently. Starting off with the very first thing that I wish I would have really done since day one, and I made a huge mistake on this because I didn't follow it, was I would much rather just not reinvent the wheel. I thought, 2 years ago, digital marketing, all these other companies, all these other digital marketing agencies, they don't work because of X, Y, and Z. I would look at them and I would think, okay, they're a big time company. They don't know what it's like for these small businesses anymore. It's super frustrating. Let me just do my own thing. And actually, what I was doing was I was marketing in a completely different manner than them. And I thought that was the best way to go because I figured, well, if I'm unique and I'll stand out. There's this famous marketer, his name is Seth Godin. That's what he talks about as your purple cow. What makes you stand out that everybody goes, oh wow, like you're way different. I thought that it was doing marketing completely differently than everybody else. Here is what I really learned. I learned this the hard way. There's a famous author, his name is Scott Adams, and he has a quote that says, losers have goals, winners have systems. Now, all these big companies that we're talking about, big local marketing companies, had systems. The systems just kind of sucked. They had bad customer service, you couldn't get a hold of somebody, and it seemed like when something went wrong, all they were doing with us was they were just pawning us off to a different department. So I thought everything that they're doing is wrong, and I didn't realize it was just one facet of it. So what I really have come to realize, and it's again a quote from the same Scott Adams, and Scott Adams, if you don't know who that is, he's the author of Dilbert, like the comic strip Dilbert. There's 2 ways to be successful in business. Either be the best in the world at one thing, or be very good, aka in the top 25% of 2 or more facets of business. And here's what that really means is, one, either I gotta become the best marketing company in the whole world. I gotta be the #1 marketing company when it comes to a contractor that wants to grow their company or get more leads or whatever it is. I have to be #1. Truthfully, I will most likely never be. Not everybody can become a rocket scientist, but there's other aspects that people need to fill, other roles around NASA to make sure that that rocket scientist can get to the moon or wherever it's going. So I know that I'm not going to be the #1, but I was trying to be the #1. I was doing all this stuff thinking if I think outside the box, it's going to help. And what really happened was the opposite. The stuff didn't really work. The marketing tactics I was trying to reinvent the wheel. Now, what I've come to learn is you don't have to be #1 in business. Just like Scott Adams says, you just need to be in the top 25% of other aspects of business. And that would be top 25% of actually generating work and getting leads. So if you're not going to be #1 in the actual product or service, then make sure you're at least in the top 25% in a few different aspects of business, and that will be how you get to #1. So for me, I wish I did not reinvent the wheel and try to do all this outside the box stuff that in turn didn't even work, and instead focus on, let's just do what other people are doing, a little bit better than them, but also let's focus on the other aspects of business, which I now realize that's just as important, if not more important, than the actual product or service. So #1 is, I wish I would not have reinvented the wheel like I did, because I would be a lot further along than I am right now. The #2 thing that I wish I would have done a little bit earlier, and I've gotten pretty good at this, is surround yourself with winners. There is a saying that is, show me your friends, I'll show you your future, or you're the average of the 5 people that you hang around. Whatever you want to call it, it's who are you really surrounding yourself with, and that's really going to dictate your life and everything about what you do and where you're going. Surrounding yourself with those that you know are going to progress you to the next level, that's really where I've found I want to be. I'm going to walk you through the 5 people who I interact with the most and kind of go down line by line of who they are and see how I really line up with them. I'm going to be basing all this off of 5 aspects of life. First is going to be health and fitness. #2 is going to be overall happiness. The next aspect is going to be social, meaning how outgoing are you? Are you the life of the party right now? Are you going out a lot? Number 4 is going to be values. And finally is going to be drive. How aggressive are you when it comes to everything that you do. My dad right now, health-wise, is probably right at about a 5.
I like that.
Comes home, likes to have a couple of drinks, eats okay, and he's not really crazy working out because he's 62. Kind of hard to work out intensely at that age. Moving down the list, happiness. My dad's a 10. That means that at this point in life, he's 62, he's starting his golden ages. He just wants to be happy. That's all he truly cares about. I want to take a real quick step back because after going back and looking at some of the footage, I realized I'm a pretty harsh dude. So let me kind of back up what each one of these 5 aspects of life, how I actually measured them out. So for health, a 10 on the scale of 1 to 10 means that you haven't had a carb in like 5 years. Now looking at happiness, happiness is how much on a day-to-day basis are you trying to put your current state of happiness in place. The next step is going to be social, meaning how much do you like to go out, party, things like that, interact with other human beings, how outgoing are you. Values are kind of a unique one because this really aligns with how much are you in the same boat as me? How much do you and I align with our exact personal and business values? And then finally, drive. Drive is somebody, if you're a 10, this means that you're pretty much going for like Iron Man after Iron Man. Or when it comes to business, like you do whatever it takes, 16-hour days, day after day after day. So that's on the extreme of everything. As you notice, that's just the person that I am, so that's how I measure everything. So don't get upset if it like seems unrealistic or if I seem too critical. That's just kind of the gauge that I went for everybody. Greg, my college roommate, best friend that lives here in Charlotte. Works out, is not, Arnold Schwarzenegger by any means, but also like does what he needs to do to stay healthy. Derek is a lot like my dad.
They're kind of like in that bubble, and they don't just the technology, and that's it.
Just wants to do the stuff in life that is truly, driving a smile on his face. One of the best values that I've gotten from Derek is Derek makes communication a non-negotiable, where he sets the expectation so much up front with working with clients that he just like kind of, it's second nature to him. Audrey. You can have a good conversation with her, but she's not going to run across the entire room to come meet you, and she's not really doing much of going out and about right now. So her social life is about a 3. She works a lot. She only fills up a couple baskets with eggs, so all the eggs in one basket, but she's aggressive in everything that she does. Wayne.
My name's Wayne. I'm about to be 25 years old, and this is my addition to be on The Bachelor.
We have the same business values, same personal values. There's a reason we're business partners. Wayne's a little bit more consistent than I am, a little more in moderation, but still relatively high drive. I would say for myself right now, I'm probably right at actually about an 8.5. I'm probably actually another 2.3 higher than the average of the 5 people I'm closest with health-wise. Happiness, I'm right at about a 5. So I'm actually, as far as overall current state of happiness, I'm 30% less happy than the average of the 5 people that I'm around the most. Move over to social, I'm actually at about a 4. So I am way less social than the average of the 5 people. Values, I'm obviously gonna be at a 10. Average that out, they're at about a 7.7, so not too far off from me. Overall drive, I'm at about a 9.5. So I'm a little bit high. So generally, if you look at who I surround myself with, ironically enough, the weakest aspect of everybody is health. The strongest aspect of everybody is tied to social and drive. So that's really who I've been seeking out, those 5 people. So make sure that when you look to who you want to hang out with, you pick 5 winners. Because when you hang out with 5 winners, you yourself will also turn into that same winner. And the last aspect of business that I've really put an emphasis on is knowing your numbers and knowing your business. A lot of this is really down to finances. I work in the world of digital marketing, and I see all day long, I see so many Facebook ads that say, hey, here's how I generated over $1 million last year in Amazon. Well, what they don't tell you is, yes, you sold $1 million worth of products. They don't show you how much they spent in advertising, how much it actually cost them to buy all the products, run the business, all that stuff. There's a lot of companies out there, when you talk to them, they tell you what's their top line gross revenue, how well are they really doing, but they totally leave out, are they actually making money or not? And that's who I've been really trying to surround myself with, are those people that focus more on the bottom line versus what's the overall sex appeal number. Oh, I've got a $5 million company, That's great, but I've seen enough in Shark Tank where they come out and saying, we make 5 million a year, and the sharks go out, well, what'd you put in your pocket? And they say 40,000. They go, okay, great. It's gonna take me 25 years just to recoup my money if I took all your money. So why would I ever invest in you? And that's kind of when I realized you need to know every aspect of the business. Tracking and knowing your numbers is something that I've been getting more and more into. However, from the beginning, I was kind of loosey-goosey on it. I didn't really know how you could categorize stuff for taxes. It's very easy to look at my own bank account and go, wow, okay, we've got some money, let's play with it, and let's spend it back in advertising. Let's put it back into the business, or let's buy a new computer because this one's old. But then I totally forget, wait, I've got to pay taxes on this, and this is the money that's going to be going towards my owner's, profit share. Knowing the numbers, organizing the numbers, and understanding truly, am I making money, am I not making money, and what's losing me money and what's gaining me the most money has been unbelievably important. So those are the big 3 things that I would say when it comes to what I wish I would have done earlier in my business. One is going to be, do not reinvent the wheel. I wish I would have not done that. I know I'm going to fail in business. Everybody fails. But why fail on step 1 or step 2? Just do what other people did and then fail on step 5 or 6. Because at least that way you've already passed the first 4 steps and you're on your way versus failing at step 1. Number 2 is going to be surrounding myself with the right people. I've shifted a lot of those people out of my life that it's not like they're bad people. We just have different values at this point in life. And number 3 is going to be knowing my numbers and actually understanding how to save the money, what drives my business forward, and what brings me back. Those are the top 3 things. I hope you glean something from this, because if you look back and you're a business owner and you think, man, if I would have told myself these 3 things from the beginning, I would be light years ahead. That the next time somebody says something to you and you go, I don't really know if that's going to work for me, maybe in 2 years from that moment, you'll realize that it did. All right, thanks guys. Do me a favor, hit that like button if you like this, or if you thought it was just beneficial to your overall mindset. Thanks.